What's good with the YouTube? You already know Big Flocko from a convict's perspective, man. And you know, breaking news as you already heard from Gunners Collective, man, that was broken today. Savage Studios was killed today, apparently in his tattoo shop. You know, this is kind of very almost borderline emotional because, man, I really got to go spend some time with him this weekend, and I think the last video he ever did was on my channel. You know, YouTube video or anything, and it was one of his best videos, I think. Together, man, we kind of had a good chemistry, and we were planning to do videos every couple weeks, meet up and record a bunch of them and stuff like that. Man, he was down. You know, I don't know the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, man, but this is the importance of people understanding that there's individuals out there that are living their life. You know what I mean? And you know, there's always going to be consequences to the game. You know what I'm saying? And I always feel this is what I truly felt, man. You know, when people play around posting people's addresses, locations, and so forth, if you're not going to go do the crime yourself, then why even take action to do something like that? Regardless if you like them or not. You know what I'm saying? That should weigh on a lot of people's conscience, because there's a lot of people who will gather intel, they'll put it out there under a fake page and just try to totally cross somebody up, man. They'll give you your phone number and whatnot, not understanding the ramifications that what can occur. Now, I got to spend some time with him, man, and you know, he has a different side that you guys haven't seen as a human being, as a genuine individual. You know, he was helping me out with some things, actually. You know, he called me his OG because I laced him up on a few things, right? But he was very much more mature for his age than you believe. He almost had like a natural leadership type of quality, just from talking to him. And we discussed things like life, relationships, YouTube, the trolls, you know, and, you know, he vented some things to me. You know, in the process, I vented some things to him, and he was very instrumental in helping me out with some things right now that are going on in my life. You know, I've suffered the same type of scenarios with the trolls and the unjust type of accounts that have been, you know, attacking me and this and whatnot. You know, this isn't a game, people. You know what I mean? And you know, he understood where I was coming from, and he would say that, man, that he let the life consume him. That's why he got off YouTube, and he was feeling at his happiest moment ever. He was not making a lot of money off this TikTok stuff like people may think, you know, but he was content, you know, and you know, and just speaking with him, he had goals in mind. He was very ambitious. He cared a lot about his son. He hadn't seen his son for 8 months. He was getting an attorney to set that record straight. You know, he went through a very harsh breakup with Brittany, to where he confided and admitted to me that he wasn't the best man in his actions and his behaviors, but he loved her truly. And he said that the effects of YouTube consumed him. You know, he used an example of a door. He goes, you look at a door, you look past it, you don't see the things that come through it. He said his wife, his son, but you continue to look at what's on the other side of the door. He goes, and slowly as you see, it starts to walk right back. And you know, I asked him, you know, if you could take everything back and have your family or the YouTube career that you built for yourself, what would you have? He said he'd have his family. You know, the mistakes, the trials, the tribulations that he went through and so forth, man. And he kind of gave me some game about some stuff like that too, because he went through it. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard having a normal type of relationship when you start to have a YouTube career, when you start to be recognized, and you have to deal with these trolls, you have to deal with these comments, you have to deal with people attacking you and whatnot. And sometimes people let it affect them. You're only a human being. And it came to a point in his life where everything that he was doing was really affecting him. That's why he got off the YouTube, you know, and focused more on himself. Sometimes he'd get drawn back into it, but then slowly, if you noticed, his videos the last few months were more respectable, if that makes any sense. They weren't as he wasn't all over the place. He wasn't, you know, really attacking too many people or whatnot. He was keeping it raw and real, you know. And you know, he had a whole different type of persona than what I expected. I didn't know what to expect. I always thought he was sharp, but in person, man, he's like, man, this is me. You know, this is Steven. You know, this isn't Savage. You know, sometimes you get caught up in your character that you start to forget who you are, because sometimes it's not that you're being a character, but that this is the influence that you have and impact that you have on YouTube. You could maybe be two different people because you're sitting there doing a spill, as not everybody's always going to be on the natch. if that makes any sense. Because you're talking about that former lifestyle, and sometimes it starts to become you. Even though you're not in the mix no more, it still starts to influence you a little bit. And we did one hell of a video, man. And if you notice in the end, he got more and more positive, man. And he mentioned respect to all raza. You know what I'm saying? He dropped lugs out there as far as he liked peace. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody wants peace, man. There's so much violence and bloodshed and so forth. That people want to change that type of narrative. They don't want to have that same type of effect out there in the communities, man. It's not to say that he didn't do some things that were mistakes. We all know the most serious mistake that he made. And even though he apologized afterwards, there was still people who harbored a lot of animosity about it, man. But at the end of the day, he was who he was. He was a man, and he got a lot of hate. He had a lot of people that supported him too. That's the first time I ever had a live that almost had, or a premiere that had almost 1,000 people in it. And he was ambitious. He was focused. And he wasn't worried about having as much materialistic things like before. You know what I'm saying? He lived a life that he did it the best he could. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, like I said, I didn't know him all that personally well. We talked a few times, but I feel like I got to know him a little bit from that time when we went and hung out, when we did the video. We didn't just do the video. We went and hung out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And we got to know each other. We talked about life. We talked about goals. We talked about being a parent. We talked about, women, relationships, mistakes that we made, and it was one of those type of conversations that, I enjoyed, because when you're around someone that you can relate to and understand what they've gone through, and you're going through similar situations, you know what I'm saying, you could learn from their experiences. Just because I was his OG, in a sense, because I'm older, and there's certain things that maybe I know a little bit more than him, does not mean that I couldn't learn something from him. And in talking to him, man, he laced me up on a lot of things, man. And he wasn't on that negative trip, man. Because there was a couple things I was negative and feeling a certain way about. And he kind of uplifted me to feel a little bit more positive, if that makes sense. And he was even getting on me like, hey, man, just let shit go. Go over there and focus on your family. Focus on your wife, Put that suit back on. Did you show up to work every day? Or did you let the YouTube shit consume you? Did you show up to work today? Or did you let all the comments affect you? Did you show up to work today? Or did you let these channels that are fucking ain't about shit fucking fuck you up today? Those are the things that he was fucking allowing me to sit there and take a step back and realize that, man, I can't let this, consume me and just overtake my thinking process and my actions, man, because, it kind of has in a lot of senses, man. I've had a lot of pressure. And me talking to him helped me out a whole lot, man. And he's going to definitely be missed. And I don't think that people realize the impact that he could have had. He has leadership qualities. You talk to him, you see it. You don't see it sometimes when you're on a YouTube video, right? But in talking to him and being real on a one-on-one level, man, I have a lot of respect for him. Just in the interactions we have. I don't care about all the SMI stuff, the dropout stuff. I don't care as a man. The things he was talking about, where I seen the maturity. And that's the bad thing, is that right when the level of him starting to mature is when, all this occurred. And he had just started a new relationship too, as we all know. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of, he had things to be motivated about, he's going to be missed, man. Have no problem, and I'm proud to say that I considered him a friend. I considered him a good dude. Me and him never had any issues. He's always kept it raw and real. And then, like I said, man, it was a whole different feeling, man, just kicking it, talking about life and just, seeing the joy that he was experiencing now. You know what I'm saying? We got along cool, man. We clicked. You know what I'm saying? As you guys could tell by the video we did, man. And, I was fortunate to be able to do the last YouTube video he ever did. You know what I'm saying? And, I won't say I was fortunate, because to be honest with you, I would rather not have that title. I'd rather have seen him 20 years down the line, still succeeding whatever career he decided to take. He was living that life though, man, as far as, enjoying it. There was a lot of stuff about some things that happened out there, different charges. I talked to him about all that, man, and it never was what people make it out to be. That's why there's nothing that he's registered on, if that makes sense to you guys. So don't bury the man with shame. He was a solid dude, man. You know what I'm saying? He was a lot more solid than people give him credit for. Sometimes people categorize people by what they were, their titles, dropout, 2-5, Northern Rider, whatever you may be. You know what I'm saying? And they categorize people as that, but you know what? That doesn't categorize a man. Each man defines who he is. And each man deserves the right at any time to change their actions. And that's the problem with this fucking gang world, man, is that, there's a lot of bad things that happen to where certain choices are made. And there's no repentance. There's no way to repent for your actions or whatnot in the eyes of the lifestyle you were living. So therefore, people judge you. And sometimes they don't feel like you have the right to change your ways, to become a better person. I'm here to tell you like this, regardless of what you've done, and as long as it ain't nothing that's no heinous crimes towards kids, man, we're all salvageable. We can all change ourselves, man, and do something positive and productive and be someone who can contribute back to society, to the Rasa, to whatever it may be. Don't ever let someone tell you that you can't change your ways, that you can't change your identity, whether you were a righteous fucking active dude or some dude that dropped out years ago. You can always change your fucking story. Don't ever let no one dictate that. And I think that he was changing his story. It's just unfortunate now that he leaves behind a young son that he cared deeply about, that it was always awesome when you could see pictures of them together, and I don't think anybody wishes the harm on people, man, but we got to be cautious, man. This is going to be very much an eye-opener for a lot of things, man. People that troll people's accounts, people that put people's addresses out there, they think it's all fun and games till someone's dead. Just putting someone's phone number or address, man, can get someone killed. And I've been talking about this since yesterday, how serious it can be. It's a very grave situation, not one to joke about. But let's talk about the man Savage, man. We did that awesome video, man. And as you could see in the video, he was growing and changing his ideals as far as things that he really felt inside he was letting out. As far as he didn't want to have oppositions. He didn't want to have enemies. He wanted just to live his life. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard when you're young and an alpha male and you have that ego and whatnot. You're always going to be the first to press up when someone wants to attack you. Anyways, man, much respects, man. Much love to him, man. I don't think that we should wish death upon anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, life is what it is though sometimes, man. You never know what can come back to catch you. You know what I'm saying? At any moment. And these are things that we all need to think about. With that said, it's your boy Flacco, Convict's Perspective. Rest in peace, Savage.